He's ahead of that big weekend that's coming up, of course, at Wembley Stadium. First of all, I think everybody's thinking how they're walking wounded.
Yeah, walking wounded. Yeah, obviously been a few days now since the game. One or two are carrying knocks who had the injuries. We're going to have to assess them going off to see different types of people to help speed that up. But hopefully, touch wood, everyone will be available. That was available for the second leg. Will be available for the final.
There was an amazing scenes, of course, at the end of the game at Doncaster from everybody that followed Corelli's on that night, and I suppose everybody who was back in the homes watching the game. How do you bring them back down to earth, and how do you people come back down to earth?
The players, you let them enjoy it. You let them enjoy it. As soon as we've got back in the building, they know it's time to work. They know what's at the end of it, and we'll just go on as we have gone on with them. We're there to win a game of football. Not everything that goes around with it, Graham. I've been here doing interviews. Don't particularly like doing them. Hopefully, that's out the way for us, and we can concentrate on what we've been doing all year and playing football. But they're a great group. They're lively in training anyway, and I like that. But they know it's serious business, and when they have to listen and take the messages in and apply themselves properly, they have done and they will do. There'll be no problem with that.
You said at the head of the game against Doncaster Rovers, you've spoken to a well-respected, experienced manager. Do you use that type of thing again?
Yeah, I will do. I'll speak for different people who have been in. I've reached out to a couple who've been in this type of situation, and take on board exactly what they say. But my main thing is going to be, it's a game of football. We know what's at stake. But we've got to make sure we do everything right. We've got to plan properly. The training has to be right. Our week has to look like it normally look leading into a game. We'll get the players to Wembley and have a look round. And for the lads who haven't seen it before, there'll be a couple who've probably never been to Wembley. So we'll get that out of the way. But the important thing is, I don't like to use the word occasion. It's a game of football. It's an occasion for other people going to it. We're going there to work and to try and win a football match.
There's no doubt about it. 9 months ago, not many people were choosing Crewe against Crawley in a playoff final. That's a terrific achievement for both clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just said that. We're pretty in line, aren't we, in terms of where people thought we'd both end up. I got a lot of time for Scott Lindsay. He's been brilliant with me since I've been manager, to sit down and have conversations with me after games. Win, lose or draw. I really got a lot of respect for him, and his team are a good team, aren't they? There's a lot of solutions on that pitch for us to try and counteract, as you could see against MK Dons, which makes them favourites going into the game, and probably the end of the season they had. But somebody we respect. But again, just going into the game, coming up with a plan with the staff, and how we can come out on top.
We all know what playoffs are, because that's part of our love and enjoyment of football. But it's all about winning. There's nothing for losers.
It's always about winning. It's always about winning. That's why I got into first team football, because I was missing that will to win, and the losing that comes with it. But we all know what's at stake, Graham. But it's important that I am this boring all week, in terms of how I'm thinking. Kath says I've got a stone heart at times, but that's just the way I am. And after whatever happens on Sunday, I'll sit back and reflect on it then.
But you don't take anything into account. What I'm trying to say is you've won 2 games against Crawley this season, but that counts for nothing. This game will have no resemblance on what's gone on before.
Absolutely none. And I think everybody knows that. You look at our win at Doncaster, the league, what's gone on before goes out the window. It does, and we know that. It's so important, and they'll know that. They'll be using it. They might be a bit complacent because they beat us. Well, there'll be none of that from us. Like I say, it's a one-off shootout, isn't it? And what's gone on early in the season, they look slightly different than they did early in the season. We'll have no play on the game on Sunday.
There's no doubt about it if you can pull it off, because you've come through a lot of adversity throughout the season, throughout your 47 games that you've played. If you can do it, what an achievement it would be for the football club for what's happened in your first full season.
Yeah, it'd be a great achievement, Graham, but we've got a lot to do before we even get to that point. A lot of preparation to do, as always, leading into a game, making sure the players are getting the right information. There is a lot to do, and I can't get myself to think about what could be or anything like that. You start doing that, you lose track on what we've got to do. If we lose, win, there's plenty of time for me afterwards to reflect on what's gone on. I'm just going to be boring and make sure we do everything right.
It's light-hearted end then to the final questions before we catch you at Wembley Stadium on Sunday. VAR is in.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Oh, I haven't finished the question yet. Your thoughts then?
Yeah, I can't believe it. No, not for me. And I'm pretty sure if you ask their manager, he won't want it. I can't. You play all season without VAR, and you get to the biggest game for the fans and the players, and then you're going to have to be waiting around if someone scores a goal or if something happens. I have no idea why they're doing it. Not for me.
Suit or tracksuit?
Tracksuit. Yeah, no. Graham, it's just another game for me. And I'll be doing. We're a tracksuit team. I think the players want a nice polo or something to wear. I'll be wearing what I've got on now on the sideline.
Well, the previous manager, before Alex, of course, actually played for the football club and won as a player. He managed the football club, and he's won as a manager. You've played for the football club and won at Wembley. It could be great to be the manager as well.
Yeah,
to do the double.
Yeah, it could, but a lot to do, Graham. A lot to do, and we'll have a conversation with that in a couple of weeks' time. But a lot to do. Honestly, I cannot get myself when I go to bed. I'm not thinking about anything else other than what we've got to do this week to make sure we're as best prepared as we can going into Sunday. Sorry to be really boring on that front.